Welcome, everyone. Hope everyone is well. And guess what, guys? It's Friday night. What more can you ask for? And we're bringing you a special finished article episode. I know you guys are missing us. So we're back with my boy Shaz on Fergie Time. Let's get it going. Before we get into it and bring my boy in, as always, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment below. Otherwise, you know my boy, he's going to have some words to say and isn't going to come on the show. But you know what? Without further ado, let me bring him on board. Here we go. Shaz, how's it going?
All good, man. All good. How are you, bro? How's it going? Everything good?
We are good. Apologies for the
Alhamdulillah,
delayed
bro.
coming on live. We had a few technical difficulties to take care of, but we are good.
Yeah,
We are ready. We are sharp. It's the weekend. What more can you ask for? Alhamdulillah. We're good. Shaz, how's it
that's it,
going?
bro. All good, bro. All good. Ready for the weekend. Ready for the final week of the Premier League games. Ready for the protest on Sunday. A bit of everything this weekend, bro.
Indeed, bro. Indeed, I can imagine. I hope you're not planning to take any flares to the protest. Keep it safe.
Come on, bro. Me with flares? Are you mad?
You never know, man. You never know. But anyway, guys, let's get into this. So my boy and myself are covering Fergie Time, and we're going to be looking at the Wolves Man United game preview. So it's the last game, as Chaz has mentioned. And yes, it's sad because what we're going to do with our weekends and weekdays without the football to rant over. But don't worry, we've got some amazing content lined up over the summer. So you're not going to go short on anything. But without further ado, I'm going to bring it off with this first topic and let my boy Shaz talk through it. Go, take it
Yeah,
away.
man. So it's been a good season away, but not a good season at home for United. Is basically, they've got that unbeaten away record all season. 2 games away from leveling up with Arsenal's away record in the Invincible season.
Yeah,
If they do manage to do this, so it'll be the game against Wolves and the first 2 games in next season. Once United win them away ones, they'll be only the third team in the league to ever do it.
absolutely.
So it's pretty big that obviously they've not lost at home all season. They've not lost away all season, but they've struggled at home. It's usually the other way around for United. It's usually a good, solid fortress at Old Trafford, and then away is where we lose the points. But the opposite way around this season.
Yeah,
So it's
so
a bit of a weird one.
at Old Trafford this season, Man United have lost 5 games and drawn 6, which tells you everything you need to know. And looking at it, they secured second place thanks to Chelsea beating Leicester the other day. So United have got second place locked up and ready to roll.
Definitely,
It's
man.
going to be an interesting end of the season, especially with the Europa League game lined up on Wednesday, the 26th, which we will be covering in another episode. But I think just covering on United's form this season, I think, you know what, everyone expected Manchester City to run away with it. Or let's be honest, it started off with Liverpool, Tottenham, Southampton, Burnley,
Everyone had a go, didn't they?
all occupying the top of the league. Funny old season because this has been hosted during the pandemic. Now, last weekend saw the return of fans, or apologies, I should say midweek, and United were treated to a stunner at Old Trafford by Edison Cavani.
Who else, bro?
For
Who else?
the belter. What more can you say? Unfortunately, the result didn't go that way. As typical with United, they dominated but didn't take their chances. And you know what? As I say, if you don't put them away, they're going to come back to haunt you. So unfortunately, ended up with a 1-1. But looking ahead, so we got Wolves away now. Wolves traditionally have been a hard side for Man United over the years because they tend to give us a game. This season they've struggled under Nuno. So Jimenez has been injured since November due to a head injury that he suffered against Arsenal. So he's been out, and I think selling Diego Jota at the start of the season or in January didn't help their cause. So that's a third of their goals that came from those guys. So it'll be an interesting game. One that United will look to probably rest the majority of their side with the Europa League game coming up on the 26th. So I believe they'll be looking to bring in, say, Amad Diallo, Daniel James, a few to name from what we've heard. But Shaz, what are your thoughts? I mean, in terms of lineup, what do you reckon he should do?
Lineup wise, most of the players who are going to be in the final for the Europa League should be rested.
Yeah.
The key player that I believe should be rested for this game is Bruno Fernandes.
Yes.
The guy's had a belter of a season. I don't think he's missed a game.
No.
He needs to miss this game. Sorry, Bruno, but you need to miss this game so you're fresh for the Europa League final. I think securing second was important, which that's under the belt. We've done that. Now, the next thing we need to do is secure the Europa League trophy. The only way we're going to do that is if we have our starting 11 as the best 11 that we can have whilst they're all fresh. Now, saying that, I know Bruno Fernandes wants to start every game, play every minute. Do you know what I mean? And I love his passion. I love his spirit. But there comes a time where the manager has to make a decision. This guy's going to get, he's played too much already this season. There's a couple of games that he could have been rested for that he wasn't. And this is a game that he does need to be rested for if we want to win the Europa League. And obviously, following that, he will get a rest for a couple of weeks before the Euros start. But then he's probably going to be playing every game for Portugal anyway. So
he's I heard that this evening he got selected for the Portugal squad to play in the Euros, but let's be honest, that was not really.
Come on, bro, that's a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer.
The season he's had, if he didn't get selected, I'd be very surprised. But imagine the Portugal lineup, bro. Ronaldo, Fernandes, is it Silva from City?
Yeah,
some good players there, man. And then you've got the rest of the Wolves squad. I'm not lying though, bro. Come on, half of the Wolves squad is going to be in the Portugal squad.
You actually just made me laugh because I realized it's not Man United versus Wolves. It's actually Man United versus Portugal on Sunday.
Minus Bruno Ronaldo, yeah.
Minus Bruno Ronaldo. Well, Bruno will be on United's side, and Ronaldo's taking a break. He's played too much anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, as always, guys. I mean, I think just myself and Charles will be covering an end of season review for the Man United current.
Oh yeah, we're going to be talking about United.
We will be tuning in probably sometime next week after the Europa League. I mean, just to touch on it as a gist, I would say that Ollie has made huge strides in the right direction.
100%.
But I think there's some glaring errors in the sense that we just need to be a bit more ruthless in front of goal. And when I mean ruthless, we need...
It's not even that.
No. Just my take on it is that we just see, if you look at the Fulham game, the number of chances that we had to bury the game before Fulham got back into it just shows that it's a season of improvement, but a season where a lot's been desired. So when Man United went top after beating Burnley in January, that was the stage for them to go out and hold on and push on. But
yeah, bang on.
Go on.
No. I was just going to say, yeah, United need to score more goals. And it's not that they're not ruthless in front of goal, bro. It's just they don't have a proven striker besides Cavani.
Well, I think when I talk about goals, so the problem, and Shaz will probably allude further on.
The problem is, bro, that we've got Rashford, we've got Mason Greenwood, and even stick Martial into that bracket because they're not strikers.
No. My point
is they play best on the wing.
No.
Now you can have midfielders and wingers that score goals. That's fine, but the main thing is you need a striker that scores your goals.
So yes,
now, saying that though, bro, Martial does believe he is a striker, but that's what Martial believes. He's not a striker at all. He can either play on the left, or he plays on the left, but that's Rashford's position now. And on the right wing, you've got Mason Greenwood. So Martial could fit in the middle if he actually gave a shit about playing. If he actually gave a shit about scoring and actually bothered to turn up for the games and actually play without, without messing around and not. If you have you seen Martial play, bro? Everyone's seen the guy play. The guy looks like he cannot be asked. He looks like he doesn't want to be there. He waits in the final third for the ball. He gets the ball. He tries to do a few skills here and there, loses the ball, and then he doesn't work to get that ball back. If you see Cavani work for that ball when he loses it, especially when he loses it, you see him tracking back all the way back into our own half, right in front of goal, bro. You don't see Martial doing that.
No, I agree with you. I think to touch upon that, so there's two ways of looking at it. So this week we've been linked with, no, not really surprised. Harry Kane has been linked with every single Premier League club that can practically afford.
Bro, we haven't just been linked with Harry Kane. We've been linked with Cristiano Ronaldo, Harry Kane, Erling Haaland, Jadon Sancho.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go on, bro?
Oh, no. We'll cover that separately, guys. But you know what? To go back to Shaz's point, you know what? He's right. Goals aren't the problem. But the problem is, so you got two options, United.
Mm-hmm.
Boys, Glazers, pay attention. Me and Shaz about to give you some insight. So either you bring a world-class striker in, which I don't think you need to do, or you get a defense that can is a bit more relaxed in the back, because you can't be babysitting Maguire. And by the way, Maguire's injury has proved, and I hate to say that, I'm glad that it's proving it, is that Maguire isn't the problem. The problem is thinking about combinations. It's like if you look at myself and Chaz, we both have different skill sets. So he's quite passionate about different technologies. I'm quite passionate about different areas about presenting, if that makes sense. So what you do is you learn from each other and you vibe off each other. It's the same way with the defensive partnership. You need people there. Like, as you mentioned, Tuanzebe, young talent. He's a great player.
Can't rate that guy enough, bro. Can't rate him enough.
Shaz loves the guy. And he's a perfectly good example of why you don't need to.
Shall I tell you why I love the guy?
Go on, tell me.
Because the first time I saw him play was during, I think it was an under-18s game or maybe a reserves game. I can't remember. But he commanded not midfield. He commanded the defense. He ran the show in that game. I don't even remember what game it was, but he had an outstanding game, right? So what did I do after that? I went on to Football Manager. I went to my reserves team. I grabbed Tuanzebe and stuck him in my first team.
Yeah.
I put him as a partnership with, was it Harry Maguire? Yeah, this season. I put him in last season's game, FM20. I stuck him in with Harry Maguire as a partnership. The guy, he's just turned into a world-class defender because he's worked with Harry Maguire. He's worked with a couple of the other defenders that I've got in the squad. He's just turned into this amazing beast of a defender. And I don't even need another defender because I've got him.
And that's what I mean. So, Shaz, if you look at, let me give you a good example, because we'll talk about this at the end of the season. But if you look at Tuanzebe when he played PSG and he just literally had Mbappe and Neymar in his pocket. Now, if you look back to the game against Everton where we drew 3-3, which is a last-minute equalizer from Dominic Calvert-Lewin, that's a perfectly good example. They threw on Tuanzebe with 2 minutes to go. That is not going
That's
to.
That's not how you bring people into the squad.
Basically saying, listen, go on, because I don't have a better option other than to throw you a defensive-minded player on. And at that point, he gave away a silly foul, which anybody would do if they were just asked to go on and run onto base with 2 minutes to go. That's what I mean. The guy is getting scrutinized where he doesn't need to be. And then when he does get the chance to shine, which is very few and far in between, he's not getting the chance to show his prowess. Now, for me, I would agree with what Shaz has said. Stick him in with Maguire, and you will see an amazing partnership grow. And you won't even have to spend 60 million to buy a defender, because the guy is young. You got him in your books. You got Eric Bailly there, who can be standby. You got what's his name, Lindelof or Lindelof, whichever one you want to call it, as backup. So I think that's a perfectly good example by Shaz. But like I said, I think this is the game for United to experiment. I would play Amad Diallo. I would even play Hannibal if he's fit to play. Why not?
Bro, there's so many players that they could give a chance in this game.
Yeah,
There's just so many people from the reserves that I rate that I've seen play, in the reserve squad, that I'd probably just bring in a team just full of reserve players. Let them play against Wolves. Let them get a first, their debut. Let them get a first Premier League game under their belt in the first team. That'll build up their confidence. And then next season's the ones that you want. Keep them, in the first team, and build them up from there into better players.
no, no. In fact,
Because look at the positions that we need. We need players in, bro. Look, right. So we need another right back.
Yeah.
Not because Wan-Bissaka's crap or anything. If you look at left back position, we've got Tellez and Luke Shaw fighting for that position, and they've both had probably. Luke Shaw's had the best season in a United shirt he's ever had, and Alex Tellez, he's had a brilliant season since he's joined us. And if you could do the same on the right wing, put pressure on Wan-Bissaka with another player.
It raises his game.
And then you've got Harry Maguire and Lindelof in the middle. You've got Axel Tuanzebe. You need another defender who can partner with him. Buy another defender. You've got the same issue on left back that you have in goal. You've got David De Gea and Dean Henderson, both fighting for it. And if you notice, those two positions are where we're the strongest. When we've got De Gea in the nets, he's full of confidence. He knows what he's doing. Dean Henderson, young goalkeeper, but he's shown and he can prove that he's a leader in that team. So you need those type of players that can put pressure on maybe your first choice left back or right back or goalkeeper, but have them rotate them. But that way, when you rotate them, you're keeping them fresh. You're keeping them away from being injured.
Exactly, Chess. So that's the problem. So there are a number of games this season whereby, if I look at it, and a good example, Real Sociedad at home when we were already 4-0 up. You've got a game there whereby you can rotate and get players on, but because you didn't do that. Now, Shaz rightly last week slated Rashford's performance because he thought he was focusing more on his
he's played shit this season,
activities. But if you look at it, Ollie this is where Ollie needs to get a bit smarter, because you are literally got Rashford to a point where he's burnt out because he's overplayed him. Rashford,
nah. It's not even being overplayed, bro. He's focused on other things outside of football more than he is on his football. If Rashford was thinking solely on his football and not trying to be a dinner lady and all this stuff, don't get me wrong, I rate him for what he's done with the school dinner thing, with the government and all that, and his charity work. It's second to none. It's brilliant. He deserves his praise for that because he's done a lot of work, and I'll always rate him for it. But it's taken away from his football. And he needs to focus on that football if he wants to keep his. He needs to keep that football in his mind to keep his position in the team, bro.
A guy that's 21, got 25 goals, 10 assists, and literally has carried the attack with Bruno Fernandes. Literally, what that tells me, and you might be right about his concentrating, but what that tells me is other men need to step up, because your boy.
No, 100% they do.
Your boy. See, Martial.
The whole team needs to step up, bro.
The whole team needs to step. Fernandes is literally running around like a kutta. Apologies, like a dog. In translation from Urdu, he's running around like a dog because he's trying to play right back. He's trying to play midfield. He's trying to play in defense. He's trying to play in attack. Man, literally, without the guy, United would probably be where Arsenal are. No disrespect. Actually, you know what? We don't care about Arsenal.
Wow. My nephew's not going to be happy with that shot at Arsenal, man.
Apologies. But it had to be said.
I'm going to bring him on so you and him can have a talk, bro.
No, we
about Arsenal someday.
But anyway, guys, we don't want to run too much on that. We'll be covering that in another episode. But you know what? I'm going to hand it off to my boy Shaz.
I'm going to bring up what we've got down here. Nuno's last game in charge of Wolves. What can I say? The guy is a really good manager. Don't get me wrong, right? He's done wonders with Wolves. He's turned him into a force. He's turned him into what's the word? I don't even know what I'm trying to say there. So he's turned him into a team that people would Not before, people would be like, "Oh, it's only Wolves. We'll beat them."
Yeah.
But now, when you see Wolves, oh shit, we're playing Wolves. We're gonna have to be on our A game because they're gonna give us a hard game. That's
No,
what he's done with him since he's taken over, and he's done a good job with him. It'll be sad for Wolves to see him go because I think a lot of the players probably would have wanted to keep him.
I actually think that he's actually going out on his own feet. So a lot of managers could get sacked. He said, you know what, I've done the best I can, but reality is that I'm not good enough to take you any further. So
Mm-hmm.
basically saying, look, guys, bring someone in. They probably need fresh impetus. But yes, to hit Shaz's point, uh, he's made them a force to be reckoned with. The last two finishes in the Premier League, they finished seventh, which is probably their best in the league for a while. This season, they finishing 12th. Well, they are currently there right now. But you know what? Kudos to
So
them for.
before we do go, bro, there's just something I wanted to read out. I don't know how truthful this is, so please, if it's not true, don't give me any grief for it. Yeah, the rumor is right. Tom Heaton is leaving Aston Villa on free at the end of the season.
Right.
And for some reason, United are looking at signing him back because he was one of the reserve goalkeepers that United sold.
Yeah, I heard about
Now, I
that.
don't understand why we would want him back. No offense to Tom Heaton. Tom Heaton is a good goalkeeper, but United don't need another goalkeeper. We've got De Gea and we've got Dean Henderson.
That's what I mean.
The only reason we would need to sign him was if one of those left and he would be happy to stay as a backup, which I don't think he would. Now, the problem is at United, they want to sign our man Harry Kane that everyone rates so highly, which before I go on, I don't rate him that highly. But he's a striker, he scores goals, he could do well at United with the right players around him. So I'll probably hold my judgment if we do sign him until he's had a couple of games under his belt with United, and we'll see how well he does. But United want to buy Harry Kane from Tottenham. Tottenham want a goalkeeper. So the two options are, from what I've heard, is United are offering either De Gea or Henderson plus cash for Harry Kane.
Yeah, but have you seen Tottenham, mate?
Now,
Tottenham are so bad. It's like
I don't see, and the reason for that
bad.
is because Hugo Lloris is going to be. I think he's joining Paris Saint Germain, isn't he? Or he's joining. He's looking to leave and join another team. So with him gone, Tottenham will need a goalkeeper. Now, the only problem I have at the moment at United is we've got two top quality goalkeepers in Dean Henderson and David De Gea, and they both want that number one jersey. They both want to be playing in the Premier League, and they both want to be the number one, which is going to be difficult because you can't have both of them as number one. One of them's going to have to be backup, bro.
No,
so who do you keep? Do you keep David De Gea as number one, or do you keep Dean Henderson as number one? Because the one that you put as number one, the other one's going to want to leave to get first team football.
Well, we already saw that the weekend when De Gea played against Fulham. Everyone was saying, "Oh, Henderson's going to leave." The problem is, Ollie's in a nice position because he's got two great goalkeepers there.
Which you're not wrong. Ollie he's in a good position with the goalkeepers, but it's a bad situation as well. And that's because one of them is going to leave at the end of the season or at the start in the summer. One of them is going to want to leave when he finds out he's not number one. And that's the problem that United have. They've got two good goalkeepers and they're going to have to let one of them go. Now, if you ask me, De Gea has been at United for what, 8 years?
Yeah, 8 years.
Probably longer. Probably longer than that, maybe. But he's been our number one since he came to United. Right? He's been here for a long, long time. And I say we now let him go, bro. He's only 30, but I would now let him go. He's been with us since 2011, bro. It's 10 years now, bro. He's made 335 appearances for United. The guy is now, to me, he's classed as probably one of the greatest goalkeepers United have had behind Peter Schmeichel and Van der Sar. Two of the best goalkeepers we've had. This guy comes in that category in the top three at least.
I'm not opposed.
No, if
I'm
you
not.
ask me, bro, I would let him go. He's wanted to leave before, and the deal with Real Madrid fell through because of a fax machine issue. But I would now let him go if he wanted to leave, only if he wanted to leave. So if you give Dean Henderson the number 1 shirt, and then David De Gea comes along and says, "I'm going to leave. I want to leave now because I'm not number 1." I would say, okay. I would shake his hand. Thank you for your service. We'll let you go.
Yeah, no, I would agree. The problem United got is, well, it's a win-win because if they get rid of him, like you said, they free up at least 180K a week in terms of
There you
wages.
go.
So
There you
that
go.
is in a sense, and because if you're paying the goalkeeper that much, then everybody's rightly going to say, well, you got to play him every week because why am I paying someone to sit on the bench for that much? And this is the problem that United's board have got, because what they're doing is with Phil Jones or with David De Gea or with Chris Smalling, you're offering stupid contracts out to players you know you don't want. And what you'll end up doing is, let's be honest, with Phil Jones, here's the worst bit I'm going to tell you, and you're going to hate this. So they offered him a new deal. Reality is he's been injured for a season and a half. And anywhere he goes, they're not going to pay him the same salary United have. So
Yeah,
United,
that's why he's going to stick around at United and
give him
steal our
like
money.
150K or whatever it is. Mate, nowhere on the planet Earth is Phil Jones deserve the right to command 150K. But if I'm 150K, then Virgil van Dijk at Liverpool probably deserves 500 because, and I hate saying it, he's the defender we needed, but we didn't get because we were too busy looking at Linda Soft back then. And Mourinho, if you're listening, you absolute mug. I don't know how you did that. But anyway, that's a rant enough.
Yeah, man. So Phil Jones, just so everyone knows, right? He signed a 4-year deal worth £15.6 million a year with United. So it's an average salary. That's just crazy. He'll earn a base salary of 3.9 million while carrying a cap high of 3.9 million. I don't even understand what that means, but he's stealing a wage. In other words, people, he's stealing a wage. So that works out that he's going to be getting £75,000 a week.
Yeah, that's true. For not playing.
And he's going to be getting that all the way to 2023-2024 season because he's signed a deal that will for 4 years, 5 years.
Season, yeah.
Bro, that guy is stealing a living.
Robin Hood, mate. That's what he's doing.
He's not though. He's robbing. He's not even Robin Hood, bro, because he's stealing the money and he's not giving it to the boy.
Oh man.
He's from Blackburn. He needs to give it to them crackheads in Blackburn, bro. No offense to anybody from Blackburn, sorry. Well, there'll probably be a couple of people watching from that because I know a few people, but I do apologize. I didn't mean as in you lot. I meant as in the actual crackheads in Blackburn that that he really wants to help. But anyway, I'm not gonna dig that even deeper. I'm gonna leave it at that, bro.
Well, guys, you know what? Thank you very much for tuning in on this Friday evening. As always, it's a pleasure. Shaz, you want to bring out that beautiful ticker that you just brought up? That beautiful one that we need your support here. So please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Yeah. As always, we're on the race to 100. Let's get it.
Yes, people.
Shaz has got a special surprise for the winner when we do get to 100, but we're not going to reveal that now. He did give me a preview of it the other day, and what can I say? It's absolutely fantastic. So it's one
fantastic.
Get tuned in. But until next time, stay safe, guys, and we will
catch you. Hear that? Yeah, that's the bag that it's in. Just as a preview.
It's a real cracker, that one is. Until next time, from myself, take it easy, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon, peeps.